60 miles an hour.
A raid on a cannabis farm.
Oh, unbelievable, isn't it? Oh, the size of that.
And a drunk driver in denial.
What's happening, Jack? Really?
I don't know what you're on about, mate.
Do you not?
Welcome to Car Crime UK, a front seat view on the dramatic work of police car crime teams across the country. Despite massive publicity campaigns and huge police operations, last year more than 460 deaths resulted from accidents involving drunk drivers. But over the past few years, a new danger has emerged, one which mainly affects those in their late teens and early 20s, driving under the influence of drugs. Tonight, the drivers who are behind the wheel and out of control. We start in Tameside, East Manchester. The burglary task force in Tameside is a 7-strong team of experienced officers who know how to spot criminal activity. A large part of their work involves patrolling the streets looking for suspicious people and cars. Two of its members are PC's Roger Galt and Lee Butterworth, who between them have over 30 years in the job. It's just before midnight, and they're taking a quick break when a call comes in.
Last unit, Aldi, was that you? About 5 on board, Aldi, 1. And it's Market Street.
It's going to come out where the pub is.
Yeah, which way is it going to go, though?
An unmarked police car has spotted a blue Nissan driving erratically, and when they try to pull it over, the driver refused to stop. Now it's heading straight towards PC's Galt and Butterworth.
Shopping, what receiving?
Behind it now.
See.
Now that it has PC Galt's car as backup, the unmarked car attempts to stop the blue Nissan, but it carries on regardless.
So.
PC Galt puts on his blue light, and the suspect car finally appears to get the message.
Stay there!
But it's soon off again.
8014 CK, urgent. Vehicle failing to stop on 5 ways it's rolls and standby.
Get out! Stop there!
The driver seems determined to ignore the officer's instructions.
Stay there! Stay there!
And he drives off along the pavement to make his getaway.
Yeah, 5 ways roundabout Drolsden now. He's refusing to stop. Nissan Qashqai in blue, you see. Still failing to stop.
Just blocking.
PC Galt tries to block the car in, but again he uses the pavement to escape.
Stand by. Stand by.
Stay there! Stay there! Stay, please! Stay there! Stay, yes! 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 Stay there! Yes!
As the Nissan comes to a stop, an officer gets out of the unmarked car behind.
He's on the move again. He's on the move again. Greenside Lane, Drolsden.
The officer took dramatic action to arrest the driver by smashing the windscreen. A brave move which didn't come off.
I'm in a marked traffic vehicle. Advanced driving a marked traffic vehicle. We're still towards Sunnyside Road. 60 miles an hour.
60 miles an hour, traffic conditions, please.
Even the speed bumps marking a 20-mile-an-hour residential zone failed to slow him down.
Traffic's light, road conditions are slightly damp. We're now Sunnyside Road towards Medlock Street. Pulling away from us at the moment. Have some traffic and TAS if possible, please.
It's out of our view at the minute. Stand by.
Although the vehicle has managed to get away from the pursuing police cars, the police helicopter is also joining the pursuit.
We have 4 on board, white male driver, it's female in the back. Roger, 4 on board, white male driver, female in the back.
He's doing a right onto the estate.
Update vehicle now towards...
Done a right onto Peregrine Crescent.
Vehicle right onto Peregrine Crescent, Indy 99.
The driver's made his final mistake. He's driven into a dead end, and PC's Galt and Butterworth are only seconds behind.
Done a right onto Bitton Drive. It's a dead end, so they'll be decamping and going back onto Littlemore. Stand by. It's been decamped.
Roger, vehicle right onto Roger, vehicle right onto Bitton Drive and decamped, Indy 99. Indy 99 above the incident, thank you.
The officers give chase along with police sniffer dog Leo and handler PC John Rogers, who's been called in to help with the search.
She was in the back. Right, come with us.
They quickly detain several suspects, but they haven't yet got the one they're really after, the driver.
This lady Jane, there's a male still outstanding in the 99.
Yep, received.
There's one outstanding, there's still one outstanding, a male. He's still outstanding in the 99. Are they clear enough?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. At this stage, just 3 out of 4 the helicopters received.
Say again, John.
First, yeah, on side road. So it's the back gate there, so I don't have to go over there, come around the back this way. We'll double check.
The helicopter and the dog unit are now looking for the driver, and it's the dog who finds him first, hiding in the back garden near to where the car crashed.
I'm totally legal in the car.
Yeah, you're not now. No, done that to that park car, mate. After we got the 2 girls detained on this main road here, I decided to backtrack my routes in case any property's been dumped. The dog's just dragged me into the side of that garden as I've gone down the driveway, and he's just dragged me to the back garden as I've gone to the back garden. Basically, the dog's found the male hiding in the bushes in the back garden.
As well as apprehending the driver, the dog has found something else.
You're also locked up on suspicion of possession of a controlled drug. You don't have to say anything with my own defence, don't miss something like question later line of court. Anything you do say me give evidence. Do you understand? Do you understand? Yeah, good.
A bag containing white powder has been discovered in the garden near to where the driver was hiding.
As I've continued to search the back garden for any property that might have been discarded, and that's where the dog's indicated the packet of white powder on the floor. Suspect it to be controlled drugs, so he's been locked up on suspicion of possession of a controlled Class A drug. Dog's worth his weight in gold, so good result.
PC Galt is called in to confirm that the man is in fact the driver.
He's the driver. He's the driver.
I was driving.
Yeah, you're the driver. Yeah, nice one. You didn't know who was behind you? What, you can't see that?
Yeah, I pulled up to that.
Why didn't you stop, you clown?
I did, mate, I promise it.
Did you? That's how we ended up embedded in the back of that car.
No, that's Sylvan McGann. Who was that, mate?
It was a police accident. Well, it doesn't matter who it was. You were with us.
I know, but I thought he was going to lever us.
Well, how's he going to lever you when I'm here?
Apart from damage to the parked cars, no one's been hurt, and PC Galt has got his man.
All the impressions are that it's a stolen vehicle. He was driving dangerously. He's flying over speed humps at all sorts of speeds. Comes to a mini roundabout, fails to stop. You name it, he's doing it. The main thing, excessive speed on the wet conditions like that, it's not on. Eventually, the vehicle ends up where it is now. As he hit the curb, blown his tyre out. That white mark there, we've now established at the rim of the alloy wheel where it's hit the tarmac. Bumped into the 2 cars at the end there, which belong to the end house. The driver, straight away as I came out, then I recognised and put it to him and said, "You're the driver," and he said, "Yeah, I was the driver." And that was that, and that's all I want to hear at this stage. If he is under the influence of something, alcohol or drugs, which I assume he is, then that's what he's going to say. You know, that's what made me drive daft, but that doesn't come into it. Just have to make the inquiries and see what happens.
Still to come, a drunk driver on 3 wheels. Technology helps to trap a cocaine trafficker.
Yeah, it's activated the camera and there's 1 male occupant.
And a raid on a dangerous building.
So yeah, they do booby traps. They put electric to door handles. So we've got to be one step ahead and make sure safety's first.
Welcome back to Car Crime UK. Last year, more than 110,000 people were arrested for drink driving across the country. offences that can easily be avoided. That's putting further demands on police resources already stretched. In Greater Manchester, the neighbourhood task force based in Stockport regularly patrols the streets looking for criminals driving cars. But they're frequently confronted by problems associated with drink driving. Sergeant Andy Torkington and PC Colin Mason are out in patrol in Gatley, southwest of Stockport. They're looking for a stolen Vauxhall Zafira, but so far they've had no luck. They're just about to head back to base when they spot what appears to be a broken-down car. There are two men with the car.
Hi, guys.
And Sergeant Torkington's spotted something.
Okay, your car?
Yeah, someone's car.
Okay, so you got a drink, yeah?
Yeah, I've indeed, yeah.
The man is clearly drunk. But it's also clear why the car has broken down.
Where's the wheel? Where is the wheel? The wheel's around here somewhere.
Around here somewhere. When I've come round the corner, it's come off. I don't know where it is.
Jesus.
Where's my wheel? Is that it there?
The lad's heavily intoxicated. I don't know whether that might have anything to do with it. He says he's heard an unusual sound. He thinks it's his wheel bearing. It's actually his wheel. It's fallen off. As he's come around the corner, his wheel's carried straight on. I'm just going to go and try and match the wheel up to the car now.
While Sergeant Torkington goes in search of the missing wheel, PC Mason finds the driver in a talkative mood.
My mum's going to be fuming about this, though. So, but yeah, I'm over the limit, probably, yeah. I wasn't speeding round there, though, was it? But it's no excuse because I'm drunk anyway, but... When I come around the corner there, it felt like, and I thought it was... But,
Okay, my friend, you're under arrest, obviously. Section 4 of the Road Traffic Act, okay, so I must warn you, you are under arrest, so you don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence. If you don't mention one question, something which lay trial in court, anything you do say. He's admitted drinking, he says he's drunk and he's unstable on his feet, so he's been arrested Section 4 RTA, so he's fully admitting it, he's just obviously had too many drinks.
His wheel is actually fine. There's £4,500 worth of damage to the front end of his car, but the wheel is fully intact. 9 years I've been doing the traffic-related side of policing, and I've certainly never come across anything as bizarre as that. But it does explain the funny grinding noise that he could hear while he was driving along.
He may have found the wheel, but moving the car to a safe place might be a little bit more tricky.
thank you very much for the recovering that wheel.
It's fine, mate.
That's good.
He's given me permission to move it, so now I need to try and limp it into there, really, just to get it off the road. Save him 140 quid recovery fee. I can't hear anything.
There's not a breathalyzer kit in the car, so the man's taken back to the station to be given a breath test.
The breathalyzer machine now will go through a sequence of checks to ensure everything is in correct working order. Once it's done that, I will proceed and ask you to provide the samples of breath. Okay?
The legal breath alcohol limit for driving is 35 micrograms of alcohol per 100 millilitres of breath.
Right, in your own time, big deep breath and blow continuously until I tell you to stop. Okay, keep going. Keep going. Okay, keep going. Keep going. Keep going. And that's it. Okay, just want to sit down for a minute. Okay, the alcohol readings are 70 and 71, which is pretty well twice the legal limit.
He knows he faces a steep fine and a driving ban. He is full of remorse.
I'm glad that I'm in it, because if I'd been carried on driving, I could have killed someone, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm glad.
Now he has a night in the cells to sober up and to reflect on the consequences of what he's done.
From the start off, I said it's my fault. I shouldn't be drink driving. He hates drink drivers himself. He knows he's done wrong, but obviously he's continued to drive and he's been caught. So hopefully he might learn from this one.
Dealing with drunk drivers is a central part of the job for police car squads. But across the UK, they're having to tackle another problem, and it's growing: the vehicles used to carry illegal drugs around the country. It's a trade estimated to be worth £8 billion a year. Drug dealers use Britain's road and motorway network because they believe it's the quickest, the cheapest, and the most secure way of ferrying supplies to drug users. To combat the dealers, police are combining old-fashioned know-how with modern technology and targeting vehicles with ANPR, automatic number plate recognition, which tells police at once if a suspect car needs a closer look. As in all areas, Devon and Cornwall have problems with illegal drugs. But the nature of the transport system in the two counties means that virtually all drugs are moved around via the road network. And it's the job of the ANPR Intercept team to stop this traffic.
What happens down here is mirrored throughout the UK. We haven't got more or less of a problem than the rest of the United Kingdom. We tend to see a lot more drugs being transported around in vehicles than if you were in London, and obviously they've got all the transport systems that you can use up there, travel around in. We have in our cars, obviously, ANPR. It reads the registration plates of the cars that goes by.
Cars suspected of illegal activity are marked on the police computer, so that when they drive past a car fitted with ANPR, their number plate will trigger an alert.
We put the markers on the vehicles for the vehicles to be stopped by a police officer, and using their powers then to search a vehicle and hopefully will locate the drugs or any criminal activities that the occupants in the vehicle may be acting upon. 40% of our arrests come from ANPR hits. Stop checking cars, and they've got quite a lot of drugs inside.
It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and a car with a marker on it has just driven past an ANPR camera. Back at base, PC Miller is finding out more about it.
There's a chap that just requires stopping, so we can see if the information is correct. Being done for armed robbery, so he's out on licence. Apparently he's driving to London every week, picking up 5 ounces of cannabis and 2 kilos of cocaine.
The intelligence reveals that the driver has a history of drug dealing, so PC Miller instructs the mobile unit to carry out an intercept.
Will you be able to intercept a grey Ford Focus? Yeah, it's activated the camera at 14:49, so 6 minutes ago. So I should imagine that it'd be on the A30. And there's one male occupant in the vehicle.
The driver also has a history of violence. PC Miller and colleague PC Jim Timmis head for the scene to provide backup.
Right, do you want to get in? Yeah. Is it failing to stop?
Hello, yes.
By the time PC's Miller and Timmis arrive, there's been a short chase, but their colleagues have managed to stop the suspect vehicle. No drugs are found, but because of the intelligence prompted by the ANPR alert, they'll take the car to the station for a fuller examination.
I didn't see him throw anything out of the car. I didn't see him see any windows open. All the windows were shut all the time.
Let's go back. Right, so we're taking this one back, yeah?
Yes.
Right.
Okay, the plan now is the prisoner's been taken back to Wilson custody where he's going to get processed. We're taking the subject vehicle back so we can do a full search of it, fingertip search, and also with the drug stop. See what we can find. Hopefully we'll find lots of drugs. He was laughing away in the back of the patrol car. He seemed pretty confident, so I think there's nothing there, to be perfectly honest.
In Stockport, tackling the twin threats of car crime and burglary is down to the neighbourhood task force. But its members are often called in to assist other teams on major operations. Today it's the turn of PC's Colin Mason and Phil Thomason. They're providing backup for the neighbourhood policing team, which is preparing a raid on an old mill in the heart of the town.
The information that we've got relates to Weir Mill. The information suggests that there's a cannabis farm or a factory at that particular location. The security's been beefed up for the area. There's shutters on, bolts on, and new locks on the doors. The intention being, of course, to execute the warrant, secure entry to the premises. If there are any persons inside, they'll be arrested. We've all seen information, I hope, about booby traps. That relates to windows and doors at premises such as this, or traps behind the doors in the floor. Make sure you've got your body armour on, of course. It should go without saying.
The raid has been prompted by information from people who live and work near the old mill. There have been some common complaints that point to one thing.
The units above it are saying that it's particularly warm on the floor, so they're using a lot of heating. They've upped security on the place recently, shutters and things like that, to suggest that there's something there that they don't want people getting at.
Officers attempt to force their way into the basement. That's where they think they'll find the cannabis farm, but it's well fortified.
Well, I can really smell it now, the cannabis. We're stood about 20 feet from the door here, which is a door going into a big complex. It's quite strong here now already straight away, so I think there's going to be a quantity of cannabis plants growing here, definitely. Before the first door entry here, this is the second door now, which leads you into the basement of the premises, and then I believe it's going to be a third door, main entrance into the actual premises itself. So we've got loads of time here. We don't think anybody's inside, and if they do, the place is covered, nowhere for them to go. So take it at a time, safety first, and open the door.
From the outside, there are all the hallmarks of a professional drug-growing operation.
All the plastic sheeting that they're pulling out at the moment, it's used to black out the windows, and it prevents members of the public from the outside seeing any light or any, so that they're not able to identify anything that's actually inside the premises. It's a common thing for cannabis factories.
See these black cables here? Yeah. It looks like they're the main electricity feed from that floor there to this floor here. The people that live in these premises, the electric bills are going up sky high. Why is that? Because they're attached to their electricity supply. When you get inside there, you'll soon see that the amount of heating equipment used for growing these plants will use a lot of electricity at all. We're not talking like a 60-watt bulb for all day long. We're talking of hundreds of thousands of watts of bulbs in there. It's going to be costing a lot of money a day.
Specialist safety officers are now inside the premises to make sure there are no surprises for the main entry team.
These people that are housing these drugs, the career criminals, they don't want their plantation to be nicked by another gang. They're going to try and injure anybody that comes into the premises. So yeah, they do booby traps, they put electric to door handles, so we've got to be one step ahead and make sure safety's first.
All PC Mason can do now is to wait for the all clear. Back in Cornwall, the suspect vehicle stopped on the A30 has been taken to Launceston Police Station. Dog handler PC Eamon Rogers and his dog Copper have been brought in to search it thoroughly.
I knew if there was something in there, she'd find it, and sure enough, having been in there less than a minute, she's scrabbling around the gear stick.
Looks like a large block of compressed cocaine, probably, secreted under the gearbox housing.
Can you just take out the dog, mate, so it's visible in the back?
Once they've finished taking that to bits, I'll put the dog back through and we'll check the rest of the car. There's always a likelihood there'll be other stuff in there. They can't help themselves.
It looks like individual wraps of probably cocaine, all ready to go, ready to sell. Yeah, it might be worth just ripping it apart, really, seeing what else is in there.
He's sourced the drugs from out of Devon and Cornwall, obviously buying them in a cheaper area, bringing them down into Devon and Cornwall. He would have, I presume, broken down that block, made a lot more money than he paid for it, I would have thought.
They suspect that there are more drugs in the car, so Copper continues his search. They soon find what they're looking for and an offensive weapon in the glove compartment.
There's 20 bags of individual wraps, all ready to go to be dealt on the street, and they are approximately £50 a bag. There's about 10 bags there with no writing on. Another load of bags which has got the initial K on it, which could mean it's ketamine or pure cut of cocaine, we don't know, so we'll have to find out about that one. But with the compressed cocaine in this, at least £3,000 worth probably of cocaine so far.
It's what we set out to get today. It's just being now charged concerning the supply of controlled drugs, and obviously we now know the reason why he failed to stop for us initially. Obviously trying to get away with his stash.
It's an excellent result for the ANPR intercept team and for copper. Coming up, the search of the cannabis factory continues.
Full of cannabis plants here. I wouldn't like to hazard a guess on what this is worth on the street.
Police hunt a drunk driver.
Gone through red. Oh, I don't know.
And the burglary task force tracks down a teenage tearaway.
This lad who we've arrested today, increasingly getting worse and worse, the offences.
Welcome back to Car Crime UK. So far tonight, we've seen how police officers across the country are dealing with drivers who are drunk. We've seen how they're tackling the growing menace of drug dealers who use Britain's roads as a cover for their illegal trade. Now, a first-hand look at how police can stop the supply of drugs by getting to the root of the problem, smashing the source of supply. In Stockport, police have done just that by uncovering a huge cannabis farm in the heart of the city. In Stockport, PC's Colin Mason and Phil Thomason are providing backup to a drug unit raiding a suspected cannabis factory. They've been asked to wait outside until specialist officers have made sure that the area is safe and clear of booby traps.
We've got somebody returning to custody who's been arrested inside the premises. We need a van for him. There's a large amount of plants in there. We're just making the premises safe. There's some living quarters in there. So this person's obviously heard the noise from when we were opening the door before. He's obviously gone and tried to hide, but he's given himself up. Unfortunately, we can't really communicate with him at this stage. He can't speak English.
They weren't expecting to find anyone inside, but the team discovered 3 men believed to be Vietnamese.
We've just arrested 3 males for cultivation of cannabis. We sat them down in our van for the time being until the prisoner transport arrives because they're all shivering. It's partly shock, but it is also very cold. So we don't want to have any hospital visits. We just want to get straight on with investigating the offence.
With the men detained and the factory declared safe to enter, PC Mason and the rest of the team can now go in to begin to gather evidence.
This is the first part of the inside bit here. There's no plants inside here, but you can see all the paraphernalia. There's grow bags there for the extractor fans here. They use extractors to try and hide, disguise the smell. He goes outside and no one notices him. Behind this premises, there's nothing. It's just disused and it's no one will walk around here at all, which is why they've picked this premises. You look at the main wiring loom, which you saw outside coming from the 3rd floor. It now comes to the ground floor here. That side of the wire there. They've obviously connected to the mains feed, and that's what's feeding all the electrics. There's a huge amount of bags here, fertiliser. Speed up the time it takes to grow these plants. The time is of the essence here. The quicker they can build the plants, the more they can sell, make more money. It's a business for them to make money.
It appears to be an extremely professional operation.
Oh, unbelievable, isn't it? Oh, the size of that, it's an unbelievable amount of plants there, isn't there? You can see there, it's a huge room.
You do the counts? Yeah. Thank you.
I have never seen anything of this scale before. This is obviously taking up half the ground floor of a mill. It's absolutely enormous. The way we have to seize it is to uproot it from the actual pots. Otherwise, we'd be guilty of cultivating cannabis ourselves. It's then going to die, it'll all be bagged up and it'll be destroyed at a furnace that the police use. We're looking at about 15-20 metres squared, full of cannabis plants here. I wouldn't like to hazard a guess on what this is worth on the street. I'm sure there's going to be quite a few upset people.
In Tameside, East Manchester, the burglary task force has recently been dealing with a spate of motorbike thefts and robberies believed to be committed by a gang of teenagers. PC's Roger Galt and Lee Butterworth are on patrol when they get a call about some young people riding around an estate on a motorbike.
So Honda CG126 in blue, an outstanding stolen. Last time during a short pursuit, all three were on it. There's 3 offenders involved in it.
They suspect that it's linked to a young man who is particularly active.
Half an inkling of who it's going to be, albeit at this moment we're struggling for evidence. It's very, very busy. One-man crime wave. The motorbike's still outstanding stolen, so we'll go up to the estate now to try and locate it with the occupants on board. And at least we can lock them up for that. And then get a package together and try and get some robberies for them as well. Same crowd all the time doing most of the jobs. Take him out of the equation and you cut your crime by 75%.
By the time they arrive on the estate, the motorbike is long gone. But they decide to wait at the spot where it was last seen. Half an hour later, they get a lucky break.
Hey, you all right?
Get on the job.
Just waiting for something to happen, mate, but it's nothing that'll affect you.
There's, I've got his name.
Oh, God, right, might be something to do with that then. Go on. Right. Yeah, go on.
He's knocking around here on a stolen motorbike.
That's what we're up here for.
Right, it's the back of number
Is it there now?
It's now there.
Right, I'll give him a ring. I'll do it.
Their colleagues are also in the area, and PC Galt tells them the good news.
Member of the public's just told us that the bike's at the rear of If that makes sense.
You've not seen it being driven by... You've been seeing it being driven by... Yeah, you've seen it on it, mate. And it's just been dumped now at the back of...
The stolen bike's been dumped in the back garden of a nearby house. PC Anthony Scott is first on the scene.
We believe a wanted male's on a motorbike, and as a result dumped it here. We think he's inside this address, as that's the reason why we're going to force entry to the address now.
As they think the young man is inside the house, PC's Galt and Butterworth head over there to assist their colleagues.
We'll be there in a sec.
When you come, if you just come to the front, I'll do the one and I'll run out backwards, got it.
They need to be careful. The house is guarded.
So obviously this dog's doing its job. It's not very happy that we're here, but hopefully it's contained to the back of the address, which it seems it's locked in this door here, so it can't get out.
Police!
With the dog locked in the kitchen, the officers can safely search the rest of the house. But it appears that no one is at home.
It's just better to have him here. The stolen bike's in the back garden. It'd just be better to have him here. It's a result then, isn't it? Gets him off the streets, which is what we want to do. But yeah, it's a bit disappointing when he's not here, but unless somebody gets the bike back.
The dog's going to get out in a minute, just to let you know.
Right, where are you going to put it?
I'm not going to put it anywhere, but I'm telling you, it's opening the door on its own, so if you don't want to see the dog, I'll take it.
Right, hurry up, Dave.
The owner of the house soon arrives home. And although he knows the young man they're after, he claims to know nothing about the bike.
Quite within my rights now to arrest you, because the bike's in your back garden, right? Simple as that, innit? Can't deny that. The bike's there, I've shown it there, it's your house, you say you live there, etc. What I'm saying to you now is, where's
He was at his mum's, I don't know where he is now, mate.
How long ago was he at his mum's?
10 minutes ago.
Right, does he know we're here?
Well, obviously, like, he's just been there a long time. Is.
Problem we've got, this is your address, yeah? You're the tenant, aren't you? What we should be doing now, we should be arresting you, because that stolen bike's on your property.
He just said that now as well. He said, but you know, if I say where he is, whatever.
We need to get hold of him, don't we?
He's pretty naughty, mate.
Up ahead, PC Butterworth spots the young man.
Yeah, we think he's walking down the side of the gasworks there, mate.
Walking down the side of the gasworks?
Yeah, it looked like him, all in dark clothing, mate, walking where we were parked before. Straight down.
The unmarked car goes after him. Very quickly, he's under arrest.
He's got him, mate. He's got him at the school.
Dave's got him. He's at the school. What's it? He's outside the school here.
Get a van.
It seems that the suspect has made the schoolboy error of returning to the scene of the crime.
He's been daft and come back, or having a nosy, see what we're up to. Because quite often they come and have a nosy, just see what the cops are going to do, because they think they're invincible and the cops won't get him. On this occasion, it's been his downfall. As he's detained, he's wearing a ski mask, black ski mask, and full enough, I would call them motorcycle gloves. There's a few things to ask him now. We'll take him back to our custody office now and go through the long and lengthy procedure of interviewing and putting a file together.
Back in Stockport, Sergeant Richard Lloyd and his team are now beginning to dismantle the cannabis factory and to dispose of the plants they've seized.
This is one of the biggest I've seen. Normally we find them, they take over domestic houses and they'll do the whole house as a cannabis farm, so they're not normally quite as big as this. Obviously they've even set their own living area up within it, put their own toilet in, so the people working it don't ever have to leave the premises, so it's very hard to detect. Today we've basically stripped out 3 tons of lights, transformers for all the lights and other associated equipment. The section we actually haven't found yesterday due to all the sheeting in here had another about 180 plants in them. In all there's about 1,800 plants. Obviously anything that has got the cannabis in it we have to destroy, and all the cannabis we seized today, apart from the items we're using as evidence, will be incinerated immediately, so there's nothing left at all.
The seizure of the drugs will also have a knock-on effect on criminal activity.
Yeah, it's a lot of hard work, but yeah, very pleased that we found it at this stage. But we've prevented all these products getting on the streets. This is the end of the criminal chain. People will go out, commit other crime to obtain the goods to be able to buy this cannabis. People will be committing burglaries, committing car crime, and also stealing. The whole range of crime will be used for them to get goods to be able to sell and buy this cannabis and feed the drug habits.
Over £1 million worth of cannabis was taken from the mill and destroyed. It's one of Greater Manchester Police's biggest drug seizures this decade. Back in Tameside, the youth arrested on suspicion of stealing a motorbike has been brought in to Ashton Police Station for questioning.
Sorry, this gentleman's been arrested at 5 to 2 by PC 3405 Scott on suspicion of theft of motor vehicle times 2 and reaching a...
As he's booked in, PC Butterworth goes through his lengthy history with the police.
This lad who we've arrested today is around about 10-year-old when he was first arrested for an offence of robbery. Regularly arrested for taking motor vehicles and damaging property, burglaries, plenty of burglaries, and breaching his antisocial behaviour order. Increasingly getting worse and worse, the offences. Courts need to do something about it. He's at an age of 16-year-old where they don't tend to give custodial sentences with this lad's previous. Something needs to give. Can't keep letting him out. He's just an absolute menace.
With the young man in the cells, PC's Galt and Butterworth now gather the evidence, which they hope will secure a number of convictions.
Took an imprint of the shoe, both sides, left and right. And the idea is that if there's any forensic evidence at the scene of any of the offences that he's going to be questioned about, then we'll try and match these imprints up. A bit like a fingerprint, but it all adds up. There's the full-face balaclava, not many people walking around with them on. And there's the motorcycle gloves that he's found in possession with. He'll say to keep my hands warm. I would call them motorcycle gloves, and we're investigating the theft of a motorcycle, so hopefully using evidence in prosecution cases.
Still to come, a drunk driver tries to evade the police.
Male out on foot, male out on foot.
Then denies everything.
What am I under arrest for?
Been drinking a motor vehicle whilst on the influence of alcohol.
So, mate.
It's the early hours of the morning in Tameside, and PC's Roger Galt and Mark Barker are coming to the end of an uneventful shift.
Where are you, mate? It's bloody Deadsville. We've not had one report of a thieves on or anything, have we?
As they're heading back to the station, a car pulls out in front of them.
What the... Got to have a look at that, I think, haven't we?
It swerved halfway across the road while making a left turn, potentially the sign of a drunk driver, so there's no option but to pursue. Spotting the police car behind him, the driver speeds up in a bid to escape and runs through a red light.
Oh, he has, I know. He's going for it. Golf 8014, urgent.
The driver's in the distance and out of sight, but PC Gold isn't giving up.
8014, Talbot Road, Hyde, Silver Astra, failing to stop. Towards Matley Lane.
Just up ahead, they spot the car at the side of the road. The driver appears to have abandoned it.
There it is, pulled up. Male out on foot, male out on foot.
3164, go.
That way, Matt.
While PC Barker chases the man on foot, PC Gold tries to cut off his escape route.
Vehicle abandoned, patrols out on foot, Bradley Green Road, Hyde.
PC Barker catches up with the man, who appears to be rather drunk.
Yeah, I've got a male detained at the minute.
Go for what?
Huh?
Go for what?
You're on camera running.
Running from where?
From that car.
What's happened, Jack?
Really?
I don't know what you're on about, mate.
Do you not? Let's have a see.
Right. Cleans the whistle, mate.
What you called?
Sorry?
What you called?
Alex.
How much have you had to drink?
Why is it now?
Because you just got out of that Silver Astra.
What Astra?
Yeah, no, don't give us that. Just seen you get out of it and run.
The man denies driving the abandoned car. The cops now have to find sound evidence linking him to it, or they may have to let him go. PC's Gold and Barker put the man in the back of their car to take him back to the abandoned vehicle.
What am I under arrest for?
You're detained at the minute. So I believe you've been drinking a motor vehicle whilst under the influence of alcohol.
I don't think so, mate.
Do you not?
Can't even drive, mate.
Can you not?
No. What am I being arrested for, exactly?
What you called? Let's start with that.
Well, let's try what am I being in this police car for. Let's try what I'm called later. Eh?
What you called?
Let's try what am I being detained for, and then I'll tell you what I'm called.
You're under arrest on suspicion of drink driving. You don't have to say anything. May I am your defence. Fail to mention when questioned something which is later line at court. Anything you do say may be given evidence. Do you understand that?
I've heard it all before.
Right, well there you go then.
Yeah, we're just coming back to this car on Talbot Road.
Why am I being detained at the moment?
You're not. You're under arrest.
Under arrest for drink driving.
I haven't been drink driving.
You have.
Not?
What's your name, please?
Alex.
Alex what?
What's it got to do with?
We run a vehicle through.
Listen, tell me what you're called. Alex what? Alex. Alex what?
Alex what?
Listen, first of all, get your hand off me now. Yeah? Excuse me, mate.
Park Foxtrot 5 to
what?
Echo.
Yeah, you can search my pockets. I have not got nothing on me. I have not done nothing. You can throw me around.
The drunk driver continues to protest his innocence. And although he's been given a full search, the officers find no evidence to link him to the vehicle.
13164. I have not done anything wrong. But trust me.
Right, get in there.
There we are.
Just to the button.
Yeah.
If they are to link the man to the Silver Astra, PC's Gold and Barker need to find the car keys.
We can't find any car keys or anything in the car. So we're now just trying to trace some steps again, trying to pick up any keys that he's possibly thrown or dumped.
After an extensive search, PC Gold has a lucky break. A set of keys.
Soon find out. Give it a whirl, won't we? Soon find out.
Yeah.
Now he needs to confirm they fit the car.
That'll do me.
It's not looking too good for the suspect, who's now refusing to take a breath test.
Is he refusing blow?
Yeah, don't matter, does it?
No, does it help? I think it's diabolical, to be honest. I mean, you can smell quite a lot of alcohol. He's not just had a couple of drinks and he's going to be slightly over. He's absolutely bladdered, you know. He had no control of his vehicle at any time. Could have killed anybody, you know. It's always the innocent people who get injured in circumstances like this. You've got to take people like this off the roads. They're a danger to themselves, members of the public, everybody. And, you know, hopefully justice will be done. Right, lovely.
While PC Barker takes the man away to be breathalyzed, PC Galt stays with the car to try to find more evidence linking it to the driver.
Alex Alpha Lima India X-ray.
Well, loosely based on a true story, ITV4 is showing crime drama Essex Boys. That's next there. And Tony's suffering from a brain tumour that's dramatically affecting his behaviour. Wire in the Blood on ITV3 next. And here on ITV1, tackling car thieves in police camera action at 10:35.